Hello, everyone. I just want to read you the history of the Noah Ark. All right, about 4,025, 4,215 years ago, the earth was filled with corrupted and theft. The flood began. One person, essentially individual, who held the word of God and construct the ark and save his family and all that were upon the ground. In Genesis 6:17, behold, I bring the flood of water upon the earth. That's what God said. Now, Noah were born in before Christ. Noah were born in the year 1056, and the book of Genesis 5:20, verse 28, 29. Lamech lived 182 years and have a son. He named his son Noah, saying, "This one will comfort us for our work and the anguish of our hands from the soil of which God have cursed." In 1556, about 500 years later, the birth of Noah, three sons, and Noah was 500 years old. Noah begot Sem, Ham, and Japheth. Genesis 5:32. In 1665, about 99 years later, God commanded Noah to build the ark. So about 90 years later, God said to Noah, "The end of all flesh have come before me, for the earth is filled with violent crime because of them. Thus I will destroy them with the earth, and make for yourself an ark of cedar wood. Make the ark with compartment." This is Genesis 6, verse 13 and 14. Now, 1 year later, so 1656, the flood happened. Noah were 600 years old when the flood water on the earth, and on that day all the wells spring up, the great deep burst open, and the window of the heaven were open. Genesis 7:6 and 11. 40 days later, the rainfall and the rising of water flood. 40 days later, the rainfall and the rising of the flood water. There were a rain on the earth of 40 days. The water prevail over the earth, and they cover all the high mountain under all the heavens. Genesis 7:17 and 19. For the duration of 150 days, all creature died. The flood water continued to rise. All the flesh that moved on the earth perished. Bird, animal, beasts, and all creeping creatures that creep on the earth, and every man. Genesis 7:21. Also the water prevail upon the earth 150 days. Genesis 7:24. At the conclusion of 150 days, the water stabilize and begin to recede. The wellspring of the deep, and the window of the heaven were closed, and downpour from heaven ceased. Water continued to recede from the earth, and the water were diminished at the end of 150 days. Genesis 8:2-3. And 14 days later, the ark come to rest on the mountain of Ararat. The ark rests on 7 months, 17 day of the month, upon the mountain of Ararat. Genesis 8:4. 40 days later, Noah dispatched the raven. What happened? At the end of 40 days, Noah opened the window of the ark, which he had made. He sent out the raven, and it went out, going to and from until the water land dry up. Genesis 8:6-7. 7 days later, Noah dispatched a dove. Then he sent a dove to see if water had subsided from the surface of the ground. The dove found no place to rest on her foot. She returned to him into the ark, for the water were upon the surface of the whole earth. He put out his hand and took her and brought her to him into the ark. Genesis 8:8-9. 7 days later, the dove is dispatched and returned with an olive branch. Once again, he sent a dove out of the ark. The dove came to him toward the evening. Behold, in its mouth it had torn an olive leaf. Noah knew that the water has subsided from the earth. Genesis 8:10-11. 7 days later, the dove dispatched and do not return. He waited yet another 7 days and sent out the dove. It did not return to him again. Genesis 8:12. 30 days later, the topsoil were dry, and it came to pass the 601st first year. In the first month of the day of the month, that water were dry from upon the earth. Noah removed the covering of the ark and looked, and behold, the face of the ground were dry. Genesis 8:13. 57 days later, the earth dry depart from the ark. And in the second month, on the 27th day of the month, the earth dry. God spoke to Noah, saying, "Go out of the ark, you and your wives, your son and your son's wife with you." Genesis 8:14-16. The flood and life in the ark, 1 year and 10 days. Noah built an altar to God, and he took every pure animal and every pure bird, offering the altar. Genesis 8:20. God displayed a sign of rainbow, and God spoke to Noah and his son, "There shall never again be a flood to destroy the earth. This is the sign of the covenant. I have set my bow in the cloud." Genesis 9:8-13. Noah, a man of soil and plant vineyard. Noah began to be a man of the soil, and he planted a vineyard. Genesis 9:20.